The question was about this card.
Star card.
The star card.
Yep. We're going to ask about Zaddy is not the star? Or
No.
some other thing?
We've been there. We might go back there, but not right now.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
But why is there 3 stars on the star card? Normally, it should be the star.
There's one, isn't it? There's only one card. There's only one star, surely.
No. If you look very carefully, there's a star here.
See that one.
There's a star here in the cup. And then this big thing here.
Right, the sphere.
Is also a star, so that's 3 stars. Why is the card not called the stars instead of the star?
It's a good question, isn't it? Gee, I hadn't noticed these things. So this question started us off on a quest. Okay. So why, it's a brilliant question. Why are there 3 stars on the star card? So we decided to investigate why there are 3 stars on the star card. The first thing to do is look up in Lon Duquette's book, his Thoth Tarot book, and look inside, inscribed by Lon to Paul. See, mine's inscribed.
I'm jealous.
Yeah? One upmanship already here, okay?
The Tarot and the Magus, signed by the author, and Understanding Aleister Crowley is signed by the author. Bloody hell.
Exalted, I walk in exalted circles, Bart.
Yes, you do.
Listen and learn. Listen and
strong manifester.
So what does Lon Duquette say about these 3 stars? Because he does mention it. So what does he say, Bart?
He says, the 3 7-pointed stars that populate this card are versions of the Star of Babylon, and reveal to us that Nuit and Babylon are 2 aspects of the same goddess.
How does 3 go into 2, Bart?
The supernal triangle.
Doesn't make sense, does it?
Is 3 goes into
but how can 3 reveal 2 aspects?
But there is a connection. Come on, look. The father and the mother make a kid. So
no, these are goddesses. Because that has to be lesbian goddesses, wouldn't they? If that was the case.
They adopt a kid then nowadays, or even maybe somebody has an egg frozen or something. You don't know.
I think we'll I think we have to do a bit more research on this. And this is what we've done actually. And we've gone through the whole Gordon Dawn system of the heptagrams and pentagrams, and we're going to look at where the heptagram appears in Crowley's Book of Thoth. This one, here we go. And we'll find the answer somewhere else. So, but in the this is the way you have to study and analyze the Book of Thoth. You do it from within the book, and then you have to go into Crowley's other writings and the Golden Dawn and sometimes the OTO to find out where these things are. It's a vast subject, actually. We're only going to kind of cover, say, well, look, there's all these bits in here. So give you an idea of where you can do your own research onto these things. But first, I have been sent an email from someone who's been enjoying our 3-card readings for various people. And he really likes the idea that we keep it anonymous to protect the guilty. So he has a very simple question this week. And all he said was, how can I make the person I lost proud?
I lost?
How can I make the person I lost proud? So it sounds like he failed in some way. So I presume the person he lost is a woman. We don't know. But anyway, so there's a kind of bit of grieving in there, I guess, or something like this going on as well, you see. So he's trying to, how can he prove to this person that she can see him in a greater estimation or something like that? Have your tarot cards got the message, Bart?
Yeah, but I think you are stereotyping here, Paul.
Okay.
This could also be a lady who did something really stupid and her boyfriend was disappointed, and this could be any...
I do actually know the person who sent me the email is a man.
Excuse me, I have made you reveal a bit of the anonymity. Anyway, So
it's 50% of the population. And since we only get about a few hundred people watching it, I'm not sure we've really given away any secrets here. Okay.
no, no, I was worried for a bit.
Yes.
But anyway, so this person, all by himself, feeling ashamed.
Well, we don't know if he's feeling ashamed. He wants to know what he can do to make her feel proud of him. Okay. What grand gesture can he make to show her how much he loves her? We're not going to do the reading yet. We can do it later. Okay.
Oh, so I don't start shuffling it.
No. We can do that later as well. Let it gestate. Okay.
So you have to go back in your coffin again.
Right. So we're talking about the three stars that's showing on there are 7-pointed stars.
Yes.
And so let's start with the number 7. And so number 7, of course, is for Venus.
Netzach.
Netzach, yes, victory.
Yes,
which is a kind of strange one anyway. We'll come on to them a bit later. And also the numbers 7 and 70 in the Heptagram system, we have the square with the 9 numbers on them, relate to Gemini, the lovers, and also Capricorn, which is the devil, is 70. So we have these two numbers, 77. They come together to create Oz, which is strength, and a goat as well. And Crowley wrote a Liber, famously wrote a Liber on on 77 as well. But we're not going to go there. It's just an interesting point to go on. Now, Venus, as we just said, is to do with the 7th Sephirah, which is Netzach, victory. But actually, the Venus symbol includes all 10 Sephirot. You can put the symbol of the Venus with the circle and the square and across the bottom, and
my bird can mimic that sound. That can be very confusing.
Right. Yes. Good. Okay. Yes. So it's all to do with. So Venus covers the entire Kabbalistic tree of life. So the 7 covers the 10. So there could well be something in there as well, but that's not telling us who the goddess is it?
No, and you also have a bit, I find it's a bit ambiguous. It's like this, the 7 here is a bit schizophrenic, because on one hand, you have the beautiful and lovely Venus, and on the other hand, you have the low on the tree of life and unbalanced Sephiroth of Netzach.
Yeah. Strange, isn't it? We'll see if we can clear that up later. So basically, there's a whole kind of section within the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn on polygrams, basically 7, 6, 7, 8, 9-sided shapes in its geometry. And they also write in particular about the heptagram or the heptangle. And there are basic 3 forms of the heptangle, depending on where you start, because you can go from the first point and then so on, or you can miss a point and go on to the next one. And they all kind of join up. So there's the first one, which is the heptangle, and it's the first form. And on that, you have the 7 colors of the rainbow and the 7 planets. Well, it's all going to be about the 7 planets, basically. It's supposed to be, isn't it interesting? Venus as 7 is about the 7 planets on the circle of the heptagrams, and it also represents the entirety of the 10 Sephirot on the tree of life as well. There's also the second form, the heptangle, which is also the Star of Babalon, basically. And yeah, it was still heptagram, and it's you can also order the planets in the order of the planetary hours, and you can also do things from and on the third version of the heptagram is done by the days of the week. So if you follow the lines around, you create the 7 days of the week as well. And of course, this takes us back to Book of Genesis, the 7 days of the week. Sorry,
the days of the week are planets.
Yeah, Yeah.
But is there a difference? Because now, I've also been checking out the Golden Dawn explanation, and in the Golden Dawn explanation under heptagram, it says the heptagram reflected from every third point,
Yes.
So I presume when they mean reflected from every third point, they mean the pointy one, the one that you just said is for the 7 days of the week.
Yes. Yes.
But what about the heptagram reflected from every second point is not mentioned?
No, but this is the thing, you see, because there's basically three forms. Okay. The first one is a heptangle, which is basically a seven-sided shape, and then the heptangle and the third heptagram. They're actually stars. Okay, but they all relate to the 7 planets and the 7 days of the week specifically. Okay, so there's a huge amount of astrology that you can do with these things as well. Again, this is not what we're going to get into, but the fact is that those 3 stars, 7-pointed stars, are on the star card. So that place for us, isn't it?
Yes.
And the third version, which is the star of Babalon, is actually created and reflects the vault of the Adepts in the Golden Dawn rituals. And
what is the vault of the Adepts?
Sorry?
What is the vault of the Adepts?
Thank you. Thank you for asking me that question, Bart. Again, this is not the play. You know, we're not trying to sort of go into the minutiae of these whole things. It is part of one of the Golden Dawn rituals, and it's a very important part. And the picture I'm showing on the screen is actually from Kenneth Grant's system, and it also relates to the symbol of the Argentium Astrum as well. Is all part of this too. So it's a massive, important symbol, the 7, but we still haven't figured out why the whole thing is going on. So the other thing is that you can also see 7 is hugely significant in the sigil de armat, which is a wax seal created by John Dee. And you can actually see one of them when it's open in the British Museum. I often regularly go there to see it. And it's a very complex symbol of pentagrams. There's a pentagram at the center, and there's also heptagrams all the way around as well. So we've got Enochian magic, we've got ritual magic, we've got astrology, we've got the days of the week, we've got Genesis. It's covering out pretty much everything here, isn't it? There's not much that's going to be left out here. What do you think, Bart?
I'm thinking the sigil de armat looks like a ball of cheese.
Yes, yeah, that's that. We'll say that for another day. So we're just trying to join the dots to show there's different things going on here, and you know why 7 is such a powerful, important number. I think we have a tarot reading coming on, Bart.
Mm.
There you go. Have you got your cards ready? We're going to do a tarot reading for this gentleman who wants to know how he can make the person he lost proud. It sounds, when you say he lost proud, it sounds like he did something stupid.
Yeah, it makes you regret something, eh?
Yeah, he did something really stupid, and he's trying to show he's not as stupid as he might have appeared. We're guessing here. We don't know, because he didn't elaborate, and I didn't ask. So we are free to go anywhere with this one. See if anything to do with pentagrams, heptagrams, 7-sided stars, and Babalon. Oh, the 2 of discs. Great stars. And the Hermit. So that's interesting, because that suggests the 2 of disc change means it's something that's been carrying on for a long time. So it's clearly he's been doing something that's been annoying her for quite a while, and she never told him, because it's a secret. Sorry?
He's been hiding something.
Well, she's been hiding something.
Somebody's been hiding something, been keeping a secret to do with this.
Money.
I don't know. You don't know.
Okay. So yes, well, let's see how he's going to remedy the situation then.
Well, let's see. Paul, you're not going to believe this.
We didn't fix this.
Hey. It just shows you again what a powerful system.
Oh my God. We got the 6 of Cups, the Star card, and the 8 of Discs. How can I make the person I lost proud? I think it's the old thing that women say, isn't it? GSOH, good sense of humor. Maybe he needs to bring back the sense of fun and playfulness that was going on together. The 8 of Discs relates to the Hermit card, which you pulled out just now. So that's Virgo. So it might have been something silly he did in September, or something he's been doing that was too much. Something happened then. But the Star card, he can turn it around. And I guess, thinking about this, it's obvious, isn't it? He's got to acknowledge and worship the goddess, basically. Yeah?
Let me think.
Recognize and acknowledge the goddess within her.
Well, I have a totally different explanation. So
go on then. Go on.
Oh, well, what does he have to do to make his lost one proud? So the star in my sign it means hope.
Yes.
God. So and connected with the 8 of Discs, which means being a bit careful with your money.
Yes.
And which one is this again? Is this success? No, it's pleasure. So I would say he should control a bit how much fun he has with his money, because
don't flash the cash.
I think he's been flashing the cash a bit too much.
Yeah.
And it's
a bit more sensible and responsible.
Yes, that's what I would think. Something like that.
Worship the goddess.
Worship the goddess, exactly.
Women like that. Women like that.
Don't worship the golden calf.
That's something totally different, Bart. The point I was going to make actually is that when we read these cards, we present them as 3 cards together. We don't do them this one, this one, this one, which you'll see in pretty much everywhere else it's taught tarot. You need to present them as 3 cards unified as one.
In one. Paul, we just said that.
So, and of course we have the 3 goddesses here as well, don't we? The 3 cards, the 3 goddesses.
Excuse me?
Yes.
Yes. I was just thinking about in the beginning we asked the question, how does 3 reveal 2? No, it's not. How does this is 1 revealing? This is 3 revealing 1. This is something else.
Keep up.
Keep up. Yes. So where are we?
So this is an inspiring reading for this person.
Because he's got the star in the middle.
And he needs to inspire hope in this person as well. And maybe they will come back. It's a good positive sign. The Star of Hope means your dreams come true.
Cards as well, eh?
Sorry?
They are 3 good cards.
Really good positive cards.
But no ones. No fire.
It's about enjoyment and hope and aspiration. And 8 of Discs is also about working on yourself. So there's things that, we can all improve, can't we? Even you, Bart. Even you, Bart. I know you're perfect. But
above all, the star is a card of hope.
Star of hope, yeah.
Good omen always, eh?
Yeah. So there we are. So if you want your question read out next week, send us an email, send us a message. And if you like us, give us some likes, subscribe, do some thumbs up, show, oh, there are, Bart's heart. There we go. There we go. And if you want a reading from me, you can also go to Hughes-Barlow.com and book a reading. And we also have our groups on Facebook, don't we?
Yes, we do.
So you can join both. Look, you get 2 for the price of 1. We've already established that 7 is a heptagram, and there's 3 versions of it, and it all relates to the 7 planets, the 7 days of the week, the Genesis, and the planetary hours as well. So and also there's the vault of the Adepts as well, where you have this. Basically, it's a coffin, isn't it, that they rise from, and everything else. So and also the sigil day armat as well. We've got everything in the 7s here. So going on to the minor arcana, we'll very quickly skip over the 7 minor cards: 7 of discs, 7 of swords, 7 of cups, and 7 of wands, because quite frankly, they don't tell us very much that's going to be any use in talking about this, the heptagram. Strange, isn't it? But I think it's because basically, you know, you see this symbol of Venus as covering all the Sephiroth on the tree of life anyway. Why go to a minor part when you can do the whole wholeness thing anyway? So let's move on to the major arcana. And funnily enough, the first one we're going to look at, going backwards, is the universe. And the reason is because Crowley mentions the 7 palaces of Isaiah. There's also the 4 elements, because the figure in the middle, her leg is crossed into a figure 4, just like the Hangman and the Emperor card as well, you see. But I think the thing is that there's not a lot written about the 7 palaces of Isaiah. So, there isn't actually a heptagram, heptagon in the card anyway. But it's worthwhile sort of pointing out that there is a connection with the 7 palaces. It's something to add to our list of things to work on. So then we come on to the star itself, and the 3 heptagrams, 3 heptagrams of 7 sides. So 3 7s are 21, and 21 is the number of AHYH, which means to be, basically. And it's a very, sorry?
Is that the AHA?
Yeah, AHYH. Our reading Hebrew words is terrible. So, and it's
the name you have to vibrate when doing Kether.
Yes, it's to do with Keter, the crown, and it's 21. Remember this number 21 because it actually relates to something that Crowley writes about later. Okay, and also he says in there it is Isis, Nephthys, and Hathor. But we're not going to stick with that. We're going to go a bit further and see what else comes up about these goddesses. So he actually says that in there. He says that in there, but Landuquette says it's just 2 goddesses. So who would we think is more likely to be right at this moment, considering he wrote the Book of Thoth?
Crowley is Crowley.
Yeah, Crowley is Crowley. Now, we move on to the last card. Now, there isn't a heptagram or heptagon in the last card either. But
very relevant to the heptagram.
Very relevant, because he quotes chapter 49 of the Book of Lies, Warata Blossom, because there's the line has 7 heads as well, and it is all to do with, and he also includes the symbol of Babalon and the 7-pointed star in the description of Babalon. And I think you've got a point to make about this, haven't you, Bart?
Well, if you open the Book of Thoth, or Thoth, on the 2nd page, so one of I think the first image you see is the Star of Babylon.
There we go.
There we go. So just that being placed there makes it very important, I find.
And it's just the sigil of the Argentium Astrum.
Yes.
Which also relates back to the vault of the Adepti as well that we mentioned earlier as well. So everything's come in a circle. You just have to figure out. I'm not sure where you are on the circle. You might be inside, might be out of it, but somewhere you're going to be. It's to do with the circle. So there's a huge amount of things that he's bringing together with the last card as well. And because you'd think actually, wouldn't you, that maybe the Empress card would be to do with Babylon, but it's not. It's Leo in the last card. So again, we're not going to try and break all of this down. We're just trying to sort of give you things that you can do your own research on and go further with and see what you come up with. Then we come to the Ace of Discs, because at the center of the Ace of Discs is another heptagon, which is also the Star of Babalon as well at the center. And he says the central symbol of the Ace of Discs is the personal hieroglyph of the chosen priest and apostle of infinite space, the prince priest, the beast. And he says also this is to be compared with the sigillum sanctum of the order of the Argentium Astrum Argentium. Oh, it's too much to remember sometimes on this thing. So he actually goes into a bit of numerology and gematria here at this point, but which we're not going to get too caught up in. I mean, the numbers that are important in there are 666, 156 as well, and also 667. So there's something you can play with at home. And also he makes the point towards the end, says this cipher is enclosed in a heptagram as manifestly needful, and this figure again in interlaced pentagons whose sides are extending, so forming a wheel of 10 spokes whose boundary is a decagon, and this again within a circular band upon which is inscribed in full the name the Master Therion of 12 6 times 2 letters. So, and also remember right at the beginning of the Book of Thoth as well, he has a chapter 78 from the Book of Lies, Wheel and Woe, where he describes a tarot in terms of a wheel. So it all comes full circle. The interesting point here, when he says 12, because you can flip 12 around and that becomes 21, and that number 21, of course, is 3 times 7, which is the number, which is the value we get from the star card as well. What do you think, Bart?
Yeah, it makes sense, eh?
Makes sense.
21, 3 times 7, 3 stars on the star card with Ere.
And then you got the 12 as well. You see. So in some ways, we reached kind of a dead end here, haven't we? Because we know that the heptagons have revealed some of their secrets to do with 7. We found out the vault of the Adepts in here, the Enochian system of the Sigil Day Armet. We also have the energies of those planets and the Star of Babalon as well, related to the Lust card. But Crowley mentions 3 goddesses for the star card.
Yeah, but I have a thing here. So Crowley says Isis, Nephthys, and Hathor. Okay, but
there's no Babalon.
No, but isn't he talking about the figure, the lady who is represented on the card? Is the people? Could be. And then then you could say that each star represents one of the 3 persons she really is.
Yeah, there's a thing Kenneth Grant writes a lot about called the Goddess 15, which is another way of talking about these things, because each goddess actually is a pentagram. So 3 5s would be 15, not 3 7s are 21. This is the thing about these things, they're not hard and fast. There's not a black and white rule. And you need these kind of ambiguities so you can go this way or you can go that way or another way, depending on what you're doing and where you're going and how you're doing it. There's many ways of doing the same thing. It just depends on what you have and how much time you have and everything else as well. So we still need to crack who Crowley says is the goddess on the star card. Doesn't really work with Aquarius because Aquarius is the water symbol and it's the woman carrying the water, and that doesn't help us.
Aquarius, but it's an air sign though.
Yeah, well, they would go down a real rabbit hole here, aren't we? You know, water with an air sign and all that kind of stuff. Bloody hell. I'll lose the will to live here at this point if you go down that way.
Read the cards, Paul.
Sorry?
Read the cards to give you a bit of hope. If I'm lucky, I'll pull the star card again.
How do we solve the conundrum? It's actually quite easy, because Crowley tells us, and it's very simple. The star card is related to Zaddy, okay, and Zaddy has the number value of 90. So the easiest thing to do is to look in the Book of Lies. Where's the Book of Lies? Here it is. This is my copy, the Book of Lies.
I have the same, but it's not.
And we look at chapter 90. Easy as that. And the chapter 90 of the Book of Lies is called Starlight. And he says, "Behold, I have lived many years, and I have traveled in every land that is under the dominion of the sun. And I have sailed the seas from pole to pole. Now do I lift up my voice and testify that all is vanity on earth, except the love of a good woman. And that good woman is Layla. And at the end is she that was Layla and Babalon and knew it." And if you don't know, Layla is the Arabic word for night. And Layla was also his muse and inspiration and lover.
A violin player.
And a violin player, yes, yes. And there's an actual photograph on chapter 90 in the Book of Lies. There's several other chapters that relate to Layla. So now...
She was never a Scarlet Woman of his, wasn't she?
She wasn't, or she was?
I don't think she was mentioned as a Scarlet Woman.
I think she was a Scarlet Woman. I mean, she's kind of a big thing.
I know, but I thought so too. And I've been, I've with some, I think on the Thelema Facebook group, they showed me that she's never actually mentioned as a Scarlet Woman anywhere.
But the inference is that she is.
Yeah, she's. That's it. Hey, was she or wasn't she? Because he was really in love with her and all. But when he is mentioning the Scarlet Women in his life, Layla is not in between him, I think.
So Layla clearly is also Babalon and knew it.
Yes,
that's what he says there explicitly. So why would Lon not mention Layla at this point in the book? That's not, you know, I don't know. I'm not sure what that is about at all. So this is one way of answering a question, analysing how you read the tarot cards. Have you got any other points to add to this part?
No.
No? We've pretty much run our course on this one. Next week, we're going to go back to the three again, the three cards. Remember I said that we hold them three together. We don't do them bump, bump, bump. They're not in a sequence. They're presented all three together. And there is a fascinating Kabbalistic quote that explains this that I've just come across recently. So we'll explore that. And we'll see you next time, won't we, Bart?